18 moves. Beyond that, Magnus will get 10 seconds per move, but does he get that far? That's the big question. Let's go check out the Armageddon in the meantime.
Yeah, no extra time on this one until move 40. The Armageddon started. Vincent Keymer with the black pieces. A draw means he wins the match for Wesley So. He's going to be looking for that must-win, for that 1.5 pointer here, Jovanka, and we start with a Queen's Indian defense, a Nimzo Indian that's sort of converted into Queen's Indian setup with black getting ready to fianchetto his bishop on b7.
Yep. And bishop to d2, played by Wesley, designed just to fight against the bishop takes knight, just crippling the white queenside pawn structure. So usually black is playing d5 at some point, but in comes a knight, knight e2, keeping the structure flexible. Knight can jump to f4 to g3.
What do you guys think? Is 7 the lucky number for Keymer?
Oh, like you said, Tanya, 7, it's a magical number, right? Like, I mean, Harry Potter, it was all about 7 books, 7 Horcruxes. My lucky number is 14, double 7. And yeah, there's something magical about it. Like, it feels like Vincent's run has to end at some point. Also, Wesley has to switch gears. Wesley has to win. Earlier, he was playing all out for a draw in the classical. Now he's playing all out for a win. That change could unbalance him. I think the fact that Vincent doesn't need to win this game might help him a little bit. He's been closer in the Armageddons with black than he has been with white.
007 for a reason.
007, exactly.
The name is Vincent Keymer.
Okay, and in the meantime, Jovanka was right. D5 did come. Pieces now coming forward. Black's getting ready to play the move C5, breakout maybe in the near future. This is a very tense position, but Wesley at least showing that, there we go, bishop dropping back. Wesley showing that he does want a longer battle. He will be trying to play against the clock later.
And it's very interesting, this type of maneuver that Wesley's done with the knight, because usually a knight comes to e3 and then jumps onto e5, Wesley clearing his throat. It's just quite nice, actually, that we're really getting that feeling of being live there in the tournament hall.
And there's not going to be clarification in the position. I think this is the sort of a long game opening approach that you have, where there's no clear path to trading off too many pieces, not too many open lines. If you give up the bishop for the knight, which already Vincent does, it's the first imbalance created already. The queen moves over. Wesley can also think about, if he's super ambitious, David, to go alongside castle, start pushing h4, g4, g5, and go for the attack on the right side.
Vincent gave up the bishop pair, trading off a bishop for knight, so he's trying to get rid of Wesley's better bishop, the light squared bishop. White's dark squared bishop right now a bit stuck, so a very logical move. And this is decision time. Either Wesley allows that exchange and plays very positionally, or he drops that bishop back, accepts that he will not castle through the black bishop's gaze here on the diagonal, and he's going long.
He's going to do that. He's going to do that. Bishop c2, and Tanya, you called it g4, h4. Have all the fun in the world.
G4, h4, g5, h5, everything 5, and go long castle, and you're very set for it, especially in an Armageddon. It's on the board. This is going to be a fun battle for Vincent Keymer. He already strikes at the center. The knight will come out next. Looking for the rooks to line up against the white king if you're Keymer. Wow, Wesley gives a clear target. A hook at the position, the a3 pawn, b5, b4 in the agenda, but he had to stop the knight from getting to that square.
Yeah, this is going to be such a fascinating middle game ahead. I would say the stakes are higher for Keymer just because now he's got pretty much only half of Wesley's time on the clock, but also he needs to attack before it's too late. Wesley's got so many easy improving moves. He's going to slide his king across to b1, maybe f3, g4, all the pawns flying forward. Vincent is less clear, less straightforward, therefore more difficult. Number 7, the Armageddon hell that he's been in, the limbo. Can he turn it around? He moves his rook.
He lines it up against the white king, take a pause, sidestep, puts the king on the safe square, and setting up g4, g5 next is Wesley So. Do you trade on d4? Do you keep the tension if you're Vincent Keymer?
Yeah, do you also attack the queen and, you know, try to force the queen on f4 to a more inconvenient square?
Knight h5?
Knight h5 is a move to consider, but it's risky. Rook e8. G4 now.
G4 possible. Wesley type of move might be f3 just to cover the light squares, stop any black knights appearing in the center. Although G4 is so tempting. There we go.
G4 if you're Wesley So, it's on the board. G5 coming in next.
Suddenly it's looking very difficult for Vincent. He gives white an isolated pawn, but there we go. The consequence of not controlling that square means Vincent has some activity. If we see a bunch of exchanges in the center, maybe the white d-pawn will also drop.
And I'm also looking for ideas for Wesley here. You know, you've got the bishop pair. You want to try to open the position, David. We might see a trade on the board. The d-pawn moving forward. The bishop lined up on c3, eyeing the king side. As Vincent looks up. Just under 4 minutes for Keymer. And a rich tactical position.
Wesley, I don't think he should have allowed this, at least in practical terms. Eval Bar says he's still better, but suddenly Vincent has light at the end of the tunnel. He could exchange off a bunch of pieces. At least the clarity that he gets with this last knight jump will help him to make moves quickly.
And Wesley's analyzing, Ivanka, what happens after grabbing everything on e4? d4 is hanging, those complications, who does it benefit at the end?
I think Wesley is absolutely forced to take that knight on e4. I don't think he can just dilly-dally and allow black to capture the bishop on d2. So what I'm expecting after all of the trades, in answer to your question, Tanya, I'm expecting some kind of consolidating move. Either the bishop steps to e3 or maybe to c3 in order to bulldoze the center with a d5.
Yeah, but Wesley slowed down because it's no longer one-sided traffic, and calculation is necessary. What to do? I agree that he should be taking this knight, but the follow-up, there's a lot of choice there. And okay, we'll find out. Wesley, with a think, now speeds up, brings his rook to e1.
And you don't want to capture that pawn at the center of the board with your knight walking into pins on the D line, then the bishop and the rook combining to hit that. And the best move on the board, knight to e5, that is a stunner, but also probably the most non-human move in this position. It's nowhere in your radar.
Never, ever.
What kind of
Another
move is
ever.
that? Absolutely.
It's a crazy sacrifice. For anyone wondering at home, it's because the black rook would then, if the knight is captured, take the bishop on c2, trying to draw out the white king, where it would get checked by the black bishop and other pieces, knight to e5. If Vincent finds that, he deserves this Armageddon win. And I don't think it's possible, though, especially not in a situation where you only have 3 minutes on the clock.
The thing is, unless this is a practice exercise and someone says black to play, you're not even considering that move right now. No one's tapping you on your shoulder saying there's something special. It's not in your candidate move list currently if you're Keymer. Also, with under 3 minutes on the clock, never, ever. Knight e5, not happening. Knight takes pawn, not possible with bishop c3, bishop e3 ready to go on that. But look at that, Vincent getting a bit nervous. He's trying to will himself to make a move right now.
The move he wants to play is bishop to d3. There we go. He will trade off bishops at least, clarifying things further. But the problem is at the very end, Wesley gets this move. Without this move, black could have maybe set up a light squared blockade, but now the white bishop's going to be a glorious piece on the c3 square, and g7 is the target.
An unchallenged for the rest of the game, right? With d3, not an asset but a liability right now for Keymer. That pawn's about to fall. d5 meanwhile stepping up. Kingside attack as well. Wesley So making this look pretty smooth so far.
Yeah, and there's no counter-attacking possibilities for Vincent. If he swoops in with the queen to e2, that's simply going to be met with rook to e1.
And you can see the tension on Wesley. He doesn't know what piece to pick, what piece to put on the side. Hand shaking there.
He's always been a very fidgety opponent, Wesley. I've played him many times myself. He's always clearing his throat when he gets nervous. He's always playing with pieces. But ultimately, that isn't something that Vincent Keymer can worry about. Vincent needs to think about the clock. He's just too slow. He's only got 1.5 minutes left. He's 5 minutes behind Wesley in an Armageddon. This is verging on hopeless. He needs to make quick moves in a difficult position. He needs to survive somehow.
A position that's only about to get more and more difficult for the black pieces. Right now for Wesley, the moves come easy and quick. Bishop lining up next, the d3 pawn about to fall. Threats against the g7 pawn. Vincent, make a move. You're falling under a minute right now.
And they're only on move 22, so plenty more moves until that 40 move.
And that's not a move you want to make after that long think. Retreating with the knight, allowing the d pawn to move further with momentum. d6, but instead Wesley lines up, gets ready for bishop c3. Attacking this d3 pawn as well.
Cementing, yeah, I was going to say, bishop on c3, and there would be a battery against g7. The d3 pawn, that is so vulnerable. And Vincent desperately trying hard, but you can just begin with bishop to c3. Set up that checkmating idea.
Vincent will spot that one. He blocks with his pawn. But advantage gone for Wesley So. Apparently a mistake. He might have needed to push forward with d6 first. There were some small, subtle differences. Maybe the white bishop actually had to go the other way to f4 to defend its pawn. Suddenly after d6, the black knight goes to c8 to hit that pawn, win that pawn. And he might be escaping Vincent Keymer, at least on the board.
And there's no time to get g5 in, trying to break on f6, as d5 is under pressure currently. And for Wesley So, win is the only outcome that works. A draw means Vincent Keymer takes the match. If both the d-pawns disappear, Vincent gets closer to that draw.
So Wesley, bearing in mind Vincent's clock time, is thinking how to be tricky. Should he advance the pawn to d6, attack the knight? Should he be setting up rook to e1? He goes for d6, knight c8. And your idea, Tanya, just open up the diagonal.
Keymer's ready with his response. He better be. He's around the 30-second mark right now, attacking the queen. You can give a check, but Vincent can block it with his own queen. Offering a queen trade. Up a pawn right now is Keymer.
Vincent's almost out of danger now on the board. He's getting closer to a drawn endgame. He looked up at the screen to check the move count. But yeah, Wesley, guilty of exactly what he was doing yesterday. Wesley, as soon as the opponent's in time trouble, begins to rush. Bishop c3 was a rush decision when he had over 6 minutes on the clock. He might be starting to regret it now. He has to win it all over again. The hard work only begins now for Wesley. But he can't let Vincent simplify further. He can't let him off the hook. He needs to keep some tension to give Vincent some difficult moves. He gives a check first, queen's off the board.
Oh my goodness. This is an endgame. Vincent Keymer now trying to get the rooks off the board, but that comes at the cost of a pawn on f6. Did he miss this?
I think he missed it. It was just instinct.
Did you see him? He touched his rook and then he hesitated. He was like, wait, I've just blundered a pawn.
Because he's got no time on the clock. He's trying to save his clock. And look at that, Wesley, he's about to go up a pawn right now. A gift by Keymer, who seems unsure on every single move. He pauses, puts the pawn on g5.
He's not out of it. His king is coming. The knight is coming. He's going to regain the pawn most likely. But it's just a matter of where the white king ends up. If by the time Vincent recaptures the pawn, the white king is already marauding up the center, maybe going left towards those black pawns. If the white king is active enough, Wesley, with a bishop in an open position, will have the advantage.
And the clock, it's all about the clock for Keymer right now. He can't go for any king-pawn endgames. The white king getting super active. He's trying to hold on with his knight and king at the center of the board, making sure the white king doesn't get too far out. 25 seconds.
This is move 35 incoming now. So 5 more moves to make before he gets that small consolation of the 1 second increment. But knight e8 given a question mark, because maybe the white king can start running now.
White king can certainly make its inroads towards the queen side via c4, b5 and a6. So I'm expecting Vincent to hold firm as soon as the king stands up. Knight c7, try to block those squares.
And if Wesley is able to get this Armageddon game a win in, and we've got a result.
We do have a result, a win for Jujiner against Ju Wen Jun. What a game there. 3 points for Jujiner.
And about to deliver checkmate on that board, as well as black resigned, defenseless against the idea of the rook stepping in, but it's back. It's all eyes on tournament leader Wesley So, trying to squeeze this one out, but makes a mistake, David.
He makes a mistake, and this king and pawn endgame is not winning for Wesley So. I think he's miscalculated. Again, he rushed. He had over 3 minutes. He didn't stop. He hasn't paused at all. Wesley's got into a dead drawn king and pawn endgame. It's a race, but Vincent's moves are easy now. Vincent's move just got to run. He's just going to push his pawns. We're going to see a drawn queen endgame, and Wesley stopping too late. This is so unprofessional from Wesley. He didn't pause.
And what's the point of having 2.5 extra minutes on the clock? This is the line that he had to calculate. He's slowed down now, but it's too little, too late.
Well, we see king takes pawn, and now it becomes a question. Can Vincent play the moves fast enough? Because let's not forget that Vincent is only getting a 1 second increment per move.
And both are going to queen at the exact same time. Wesley So will have an extra pawn on the board, but it is Vincent to move. Look at the speed with which he's playing. Vincent Keymer trying to get some extra seconds, build up on that extra second post-move 40 right now. A tough save still, I'd say, for an Armageddon.
It's still tough. Vincent actually did go slightly wrong. He could have got to a dead drawn position. Here, it should be a draw, but he's suffering. The trick for black is to actually try and get the king into the corner. Queen centralized first. Vincent, mere seconds left. Wesley, odds are he still wins this. Although Vincent has memories now of a queen and pawn endgame against Gukesh all the way back at the beginning of the tournament, where he was on the winning side and couldn't win.
And Wesley, you could see it, his hands trembling before he came back with the queen, giving that check to the black king. Just the tension and the nerves and the stakes of this match incredibly high for the tournament leader right now. The king getting closer to that white lone pawn. For Keymer, he's about to double down. He gets the king forward.
And now Wesley is just looking for the most surprising moves to make in order to make Vincent burn that time on the clock. There you go, no more checks, just offer a trade of queens, make Vincent think, and here we go, mistake.
Oh, it's a mistake because white can now get the queens off the board. He can give a check in the center with his queen, the only winning move. And
he misses it!
He misses it. Oh, bar still high, but that was a knockout on the spot. Queen to d5, and the queens would have come off.
That was game over. The next move would have forced a queen trade. Vincent gets another life. Can't take it. He comes back.
And the clock. Vincent loses on time. Tough defense ahead, but Wesley gets the job done. That was such a nervy encounter from both sides.
Nervy encounter indeed. Let's listen in to the players.
The arbiter there stepping